good, sports fan? This is your boy Easy. As always, with me, the digital guide himself, Louis.
What up?
How you doing today, man?
I'm chilling, man.
Hey,
It's a little cold out here.
It's cold. It gets cold in Cali.
Yeah, it get cold down here, down in the south.
Man,
Yeah,
I know it's like,
San Diego gets cold for a little bit. I mean, it ain't nothing crazy.
you know, so I always believed Cali or San Diego was just like 75 all year round.
I mean, it'd be nice during the day. Like, it'd be 70, it'd be sunny, it'd be nice, but it start to drop at night. The temperature start to drop during the winter.
That's kind of how it is. That's kind of how it is here in Alabama. It'd be like 78, 80 degrees, and then at night it drops down to like 65. So it'd be kind of cold.
I mean, it ain't snowing or nothing, so I'm cool. I'm cool with it.
I'm cool
fine
with it too. So, but hey, y'all, welcome to the Full Blitz Podcast. You know, if y'all aren't already, make sure you like, share, subscribe, follow. You know, this what we want to do. We want to bring it to y'all. We need y'all to rock with us. You know, and for my small businesses, if y'all hearing this, if y'all see this, listen, make sure you subscribing on the YouTube channel. And if you are subscribing, go ahead and send us an email to the fullblitzpodcast@gmail.com with your business's information and where you are located. Right there, we are looking to help small businesses grow. Give y'all a 30-second ad right here on the show, free of charge, just to help small businesses. Again, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and then send us a information on the Full Blitz Podcast @gmail.com. Y'all, we got a good show for y'all this week. Unlike normal, we usually get into the NFL first. We jumping right into college football because college football is really starting to take shape. Got 2 weeks left, and the college football playoffs is really starting to, take form. But one of the things that I felt like I wanted to talk about first is a team and a coach that is getting a lot of hate, and I'm really not sure why. And that's Colorado, coached by Deion Sanders. Shanoir Sanders is the quarterback, his son, and then Shiloh Sanders is a defensive player, a starter for that team as well. The team's currently 8-2, leaps and bounds better than what they were last year. And I for me personally, I can't understand why people want to act as if the way Deion is doing things is just so crazy and so taboo. He's winning, and he's bringing a culture to a program that didn't previously have one, a winning culture. The fans are invested. Boulder, the city where the school is located, is invested. The school is invested. They're making upgrades to the stadium. The student section is always jumping. People are bringing energy and money into that program, and that's because of what Deion Sanders has done. That's because of the play of his sons, not just his sons, but the person who I think is over with is in the Heisman voting, or they haven't voted yet, but in the Heisman race is Travis Hunter. One of the best two-way players we've seen in a long time. He's a lights-out wide receiver, and then he just jumps to the other side of the ball as a DB, is able to get interceptions, and because of his ability as a wide receiver, he can read routes, he jumps routes. This team is really phenomenal to watch. I was, judgmental of them early in the year. I said in order for Travis to be considered a Heisman hopeful, and at that point a potential Heisman finalist, the team was going to have to win at least 7 games. They've now won 8 games. They're 8-2, and they're in play for the college football playoffs with the Big 12, because if they win out, they have a spot in the Big 12 championship game. And we all know you win the championship game as a, Power 5 or Power 4 now, you have a automatic bid into the playoffs. So we could be looking at Colorado as a team, not just winning the Big 12 championship, but also finding their way into the college playoffs. And if they do, I think that's only good for college football. I think that's going to be great for, Deion Sanders, as he goes and looking to get into the NFL. Now he's going to be a top 2. It's going to be him and Cam Ward, potentially going 1 and 2 with teams needing quarterbacks. So I say all of this because I just don't understand the hate. Deion Sanders should be coach of the year. You took a team that just didn't have the culture they have now. They didn't have the players that they have now. I mean, he's changed everything, and the team is winning, which at the end of the day is what we say cures everything, right? Winning cures all. That's what he's doing. He's winning. So, coach of the year in Deion Sanders, Heisman Trophy winner in Travis Hunter, and a team that is poised to make a run into the college football playoffs. Okay? Maybe let's stop giving them so much hate. That's, my opinion. That's how I feel. Tell me what you think in the comments. Let me know how you feel about it. Let me know if you think Deion Sanders should be the coach of the year. And let me know if you think Travis Hunter will actually take home the Heisman Trophy. Moving and staying with college football, one of the craziest things that's kind of been building up over the last few weeks is the SEC and the part that the SEC is going to play in the college playoffs, because I think we have 6 teams right now that all have 2 losses. The 2 teams at the top of the SEC right now are Texas A&M and Texas, and they actually play each other the last week of the season. So it's going to be real interesting to see, one, who is in the SEC championship game, because let's run the scenario that Texas A&M wins out, with meaning they beat Texas. I believe with all the tiebreakers, if Alabama wins out, we're looking at a Texas A&M and Alabama SEC title game, which means where's Georgia going to land? Where's Ole Miss going to land? Tennessee, the loser of the SEC title game. We're looking at potentially, some big programs not being in the playoffs. It's wild to think that we could be in a potential world where Georgia, who just beat Tennessee, isn't in the playoffs, or Ole Miss, or what about Texas? Does Texas kind of fall out of that, at bid, or at large bid, with a loss to Texas A&M if they don't get into the SEC title game? I think that's going to be a real crazy scenario, and it's something that I think a lot of people should probably be paying attention to, because not that the other conferences aren't good, and not that the other conferences don't have teams that are going to make their waves in the playoffs, with Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, and then you got Boise State, which is, more than likely going to be that 5th team. We got to look and see what happens with Army. Army's going up against Notre Dame this coming week. If Army finds a way to beat Notre Dame and then they go on and continue to win, they could get a bid coming in, which would be amazing. So I think it all really is going to boil down to what happens with the SEC and the fact that those teams really just beat the hell out of each other. And they, really kind of help a lot of other teams. So we'll see where that goes, because I mean, when you look at it, I mean, look, Kansas just beat number 6 ranked BYU, beat them 17-13, and that's going to hurt BYU. Now, BYU can still win their conference championship game and still get a bid into the playoffs. So their road into the playoffs is not, closed, but it's just that's what I mean when you see these teams that have been playing well all year, and BYU's offense has been phenomenal all year. And Kansas came in and held them to 13 points, which I think is a phenomenal feat to begin with, because they had been throwing the ball. I've watched 2 or 3 BYU games, and that offense was just high flying, throwing the ball. And then when they did decide to run the ball, they were able to run the ball between the tackles. They had the speed to get out on the perimeter. So BYU was an interesting team. So to see them go down to Kansas, was, to me, a pretty big surprise. So, we'll see what happens there. Now, like I mentioned it earlier, no surprise, in my opinion, Georgia beating Tennessee. It's not a surprise when Georgia's quarterback, Beck, does not go out and throw 3 interceptions a game, and he plays the way that he can, and he doesn't put pressure on that defense to make up for his mistakes, and they can play carefree football. Georgia's one of the best teams in the country. They can play with anybody. They can run with anybody. They can outscore anybody. It all depends on how Beck plays. We noticed that he had 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Georgia's defense gets after, Nico on Tennessee, gets 5 sacks. We have a lopsided victory. I mean, Georgia wins 31-17. So it's not like it's crazy to think that it all depends on the way Beck plays. That's what it all depends on. The team goes with Beck. Now, Kirby Smart has that team and that defense, ready to play most of the time, that they were able to, mask his mistakes, when I think he went 3 straight games with 3 interceptions, which, when you get into the playoffs and you're playing these, you get matched up against Penn State, or you get matched up against Oregon, Miami, Texas, some of the other SEC teams that, you're going to get matched up against. You can't make those mistakes. So as long as Beck plays a clean game, Georgia can play with anybody. A team that can't play with anybody is my team, LSU. Y'all hear me every week. Every time we talk about LSU here on the show, I'm brutally honest, and I'm going to continue to be brutally honest. Brian Kelly needs to go. He needs to go. 3-3 in the SEC. I think he's 6-4 overall right now. He needs to go. You get blown out by Alabama. Milroe runs for 185 yards and 4 touchdowns. And then you let a Florida team that has struggled all year long come in or you go to Gainesville. I'm sorry. You go to Gainesville and you just, you don't play. Nussmeier is playing like a completely different quarterback than he was in the beginning of the year, when the team was actually putting points up and was, playing LSU style football. You have defense. The LSU's defense this year has given up so many chunk plays and so many plays over 20 yards. It's like I don't know what I'm watching. LSU has a standard of football, and Brian Kelly ain't it. To the fact that you're on the sidelines yelling at a wide receiver, and then later in the game, you have a leader, Lacey, a leading wide receiver and a leader on the team, comes on off the field and starts yelling at you. When you are the head coach and one of your players comes off the field and starts yelling at you, you need to reevaluate what you're doing. One, because that means you've lost in my opinion, you've lost the locker room. Your players have no respect for you. They are blatantly challenging you on a sideline in the middle of a game in front of every other player because they don't respect you. Brian Kelly, you do not play LSU football. You have struggled, and I've said this and I'll continue to say it. You have struggled in big games throughout your entire career, and you cannot handle SEC football. Again, you let Alabama come into Death Valley, constantly voted one of the hardest places to play in all of college football, especially a night game. Death Valley at night. And you let them come in, and I think they beat us by 20-plus points. And again, Milroe ran for 185 yards, 4 touchdowns. It's time to go. That's it. Brian Kelly, is time to go. I understand that financially we probably can't get rid of him, because if we did, I think it would cost us a ridiculous amount of money. You know, this ain't like the Coach O situation where it was $18, $19 million. This is far more than that. But we need to figure something out, because Brian Kelly is not the leader and he is not the future of the LSU Tigers football program. With that being said, let's go ahead and move over to the NFL, because if I continue to talk about LSU and Brian Kelly, I'm going to lose my damn mind. I'm going to start saying wild shit on here, and it's, you know, I can't do that. One of the things that when I was looking at the NFL and I was looking at the games that we had coming up today, was I was really interested to see how Chicago played with the new OC, their new offensive coordinator. It looked like everything was good. It looked like, you know, the new OC, Thomas Brown, looked like things were going to be good. They were going to go out, get a dub. That's not what happened, you know. So we'll get into that game a little bit later. You know, one of the other things we're going to get into is Colts decide to start Anthony Richardson after a 2-week benching. Really want to, you know, we're gonna dive into that game as well against the Jets, because did he learn anything? Was 2 weeks enough time for him to mature? Was 2 weeks enough time for him to understand that even though you may not think it's a big decision when you tap out of a game, even though they said that wasn't the reason for the benching, it was more of his play, and his play was not great. I will give them that. But we know it was because he tapped. He tapped out of the game, said it was because he was tired, benched for 2 weeks. Joe Flacco comes in, plays like complete ass for those 2 weeks, and we'll get into how Anthony Richards did in his game against the Jets. News out of Minnesota. So J.J. McCarthy had to have a second knee surgery. Apparently there's no change to his timetable, but my question is what about his confidence? As somebody who's had multiple knee surgeries, anytime you have more than one knee surgery, your confidence of the stability, and can you push that injury, or that in this case his knee, will he be able to push that knee the way he wants to be able to push it, and have the confidence that it's going to be strong enough to stand everything that it's going to have to, you know, withstand. And it sucks too, because I hate to see young quarterbacks, rookie year, you know, he was playing well, knee injury happens. Supposedly the first surgery went well, but now he's got to have another one. I'm not gonna say that I know what's going on, but typically when a second surgery like that is happened, they need to go in, potentially clean up some scar tissue, help with maybe some mobility. Maybe there's some fluid in the knee. He's having some flexibility issues. All of those things, they may seem minor, but when you're talking about an NFL quarterback and their ability to play at a high level for a young guy, could it really mess with his confidence? So is J.J. McCarthy going to be the same quarterback coming back next year? Hopefully, he'll get a full training camp. He'll be able to get in and really kind of see what he can do with the knee before he's in a real game situation. So we'll see what happens there. Before we get into the games, one of the small little things that I wanted to talk about real quick, because I'm so tired of the NFL moving things. So they just said that the NFL Combine is going to be in Indianapolis through 2026. Why are we even discussing this? This NFL Scouting Combine has been in Indianapolis since 1987. Why do we even need to discuss potentially moving it? I'm confused as to why the NFL always needs to do it. Now, the draft, you want to move the draft around? I get that, because that is a, monumental moment for, hundreds of young men to hear their name called. You want to give fans a chance to, experience that in their city with their team. I get that. But the Combine has always been in Indianapolis. Leave it the hell alone. I'm not sure why we always have to feel the need to make everything, a big deal. The scouting combine is a big deal. Don't get me wrong, but it's a big deal because this is these players' opportunity to show the teams what they can do. It's the players' opportunity. Like, we don't need a bunch of fans and everything out. Like, these young men are in the zone. We put a lot of weight on the combine, on the 40-yard dash, on the bench press, on the vertical, on the shuttle. We put a lot of weight. Teams put a lot of weight when they're looking at players to draft on this. We don't need to make it a big old spectacle, okay? Just leave it be. Just leave it be. All right? We're going to get into some of the games from Thursday night, and then we're going to get into some of the games that happened today, and we're going to look and see how teams are moving, how they shucking and jiving. One of the teams that's shucking and jiving is Philly. Philly gets a massive win over Washington, who, I had the Commanders as an up-and-coming team. A red-hot team. Jaden Daniels was playing phenomenal. You had Scary Terry that was all over the field. Eckler is, kind of resurging his career. And then you had the defense for Washington, which kind of hit or miss. It really depended on what week, you got them. But it was hit or miss. But Philly comes in, gets a big win. They go up 2 games because Washington is in second place in the NFC East. Philly now takes a 2-game lead, and Barkley in that game just went off in the second half. I mean, I think he had like 90-something yards or over 90 yards in the second half. And what was more surprising was that Jaden Daniels looked human. He had looked really good throughout the, first 9 weeks, and kind of showed that the game wasn't too fast for him, and showed that he had an ability to kind of pick up the NFL game a lot faster than most rookies. And, for the first time, we kind of saw a game where, Jaden Daniels looked like a rookie. Now I'm not saying that he had a bad game, because his game was still a fairly decent game. He did go 22 for 32, 191 yards, 1 touchdown. He did have the interception, but he only had 10 incompletions, still had 191 yards. He ran for 18 yards. So it's not like he had this bad game, but it wasn't what we have become accustomed to seeing from the person who we kind of feel is the odds favorite to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. So the good thing for him is his next game is against Dallas. And Dallas is just, Dak Prescott's gone for the year. You got CeeDee Lamb, who's, questionable for tomorrow night's game against Houston. So, Dallas is kind of falling apart at the seam, really. So that'll be a good game for Daniels to be able to bounce back and kind of get his footing again and show everybody, hey, everybody's allowed to have a bad game. A game that I don't want to say was a bad game today by either team, but I'm trying to figure out why Lamar Jackson has such a hard time against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh goes out, gets the dub against Baltimore, now takes a 2-game lead in the AFC North, which I'm not saying anybody's surprised, because when you have Mike Tomlin and Russell Wilson is playing really well, and I've said it before, I had to eat my words. Russell Wilson has 100% been the right quarterback for that team. Pickens is playing out of his mind. Pittsburgh has that, I think he's 6'8", tight end, Washington, that for his size moves really well, is able to catch the ball. And then that defense with Hayward and TJ Watt, even with the loss of Highsmith, that team is just poised to really kind of make a run. And we shouldn't be surprised, because Mike Tomlin always has his teams ready to go. I'm confused as to why Lamar Jackson has such an issue. Now, Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens had an opportunity to tie the game. They scored late, failed 2-point conversion. Really wasn't sure what kind of 2-point conversion play they were running. I don't know if maybe Lamar was looking for a crosser as he bootlegged out or as he bailed out, and then he just kind of threw, the ball up. So it looked like it was going to be a failed play from the jump, but Pittsburgh has Baltimore's number. And that is not what you want if you're Baltimore. You need to be able to beat Pittsburgh. You need to be able to, kind of separate yourself like Pittsburgh has done. So what's crazy with that game is Pittsburgh did it with field goals. Pittsburgh didn't score any touchdowns. Broswell, got all the points. 6 for 6. Yeah, right. 6 for 6. So he was able to get his team in the league. I think Mike Tomlin said that he was going to be the offensive player of the week again. So I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, Pittsburgh sitting at 8-2, first in the AFC North. So good for them. Congratulations to Russell Wilson. Congratulations to Najee Harrison. I like to see Najee running well. Pickens, Washington, Mike Tomlin, that entire defensive unit. Congratulations to you guys. Kudos to y'all. big game of the week, along with that Pittsburgh and Baltimore game, was the Kansas City and Buffalo game. And I watched the game. I thought it was a phenomenal game. Y'all can fight me if y'all want on this. Y'all can comment. Tell me what you think. Mahomes and Allen is the modern day Brady and Manning. I said what I said. Okay, if you actually watch these games, if you watch all of their games, they have regular season, they have postseason. That is what it is. And these two quarterbacks are phenomenal. Watching the plays that these two quarterbacks make. I mean, Josh Allen on a fourth, I think it was like 4th and 8 or something like that, and he breaks it for a 16-yard touchdown. I mean, these teams are phenomenal to watch. Buffalo gives Kansas City their first loss. 1972 Dolphins are able to drink their glass of champagne. For those of you that don't know, the 1972 Dolphins are the only undefeated team in NFL history. They went undefeated in the regular season and went on to win the Super Bowl. And for whatever reason, every year, every season, once the final team that, didn't have a loss loses, the remaining members of that team have a glass of champagne and they cheers to the fact that they are still the only undefeated team left, or the only undefeated team to still have that happen. While back, we saw that they had to wait all the way to the Super Bowl when Eli Manning's Giants beat Tom Brady. They had their undefeated record all the way into that Super Bowl. That's the only other team to make it into the Super Bowl undefeated. And the Kansas City Chiefs lost their bid at that today. And it wasn't for a lack of Mahomes trying. Mahomes played a phenomenal game. For whatever reason, Buffalo was able to get Kansas City in the regular season, but Kansas City is always able to get that back in the playoffs when it matters the most. What helps Kansas City do those things is Chris Jones. Chris Jones is a problem, okay? Watching that game and just watching the way that he can take over a play, a series of plays, a drive as a defensive lineman, and the way that he can just move the line of scrimmage by himself is really, it's impressive, especially at his age. Now I get it in, the big scheme of life. He's not that old, but as an NFL player, he's an older NFL player. And the fact that he's still able to do it the way he does at his age is a testament to the work that he puts in and the fact that he wants to be a Hall of Famer, which he will be, and he wants to be one of the best to ever do it, which I think he is. I think he's one of the best defensive linemen to ever play the game. So I'm happy for Buffalo. I wanted Kansas City to lose. I'm more of a Josh Allen fan than I am a Patrick Mahomes fan. Patrick Mahomes beat us in the playoffs, 1 year, and I can't rock with Mahomes. One of the games I talked about a little bit ago was the Colts and Jets with Anthony Richards coming back from the 2-game suspension. Anthony Richards comes back from a 2-game suspension and goes 20 for 30, 272 yards, and a touchdown. Roger had a good game too, but hey, youth won the day. Okay. The Colts were able to get the dub. I think it was 28-27. And from what I saw watching that game and watching the way the players rallied around Richardson and the way that they showed support for him, the way that they, just showed up and said, hey, you're our quarterback. You're a young kid. You made a mistake. And the fact that Richardson looks like he responded well. It looks like he took that 2-week benching and learned from it. I think sometimes with these young kids, they struggle to find their footing as a leader, especially with quarterbacks. Everybody knows that the quarterback is the leader of the football team. And when you come in and you're 22, 23 years old, and you're trying to lead a group of guys, and you have guys that are 32, 33 years old, they've been in the game for 10 years already, you've really got to work hard to gain their respect, gain their trust. And as a quarterback, you have to work even harder, because the game is controlled by the way that you play. If you go out there and play bad, you're more than likely going to lose. So you have to work hard to get these guys to trust you. He had made a mistake. I think he heard what the players said. I think he heard everything that got put out into the media. I do. I think he heard all of that, and it shows that he decided to take that, turn it into constructive criticism, and make something about it. Because he didn't just, walk the walk, but you could tell that he took the time to understand what he did. You can tell that he took the time to understand what he did was wrong, that you can't let your team down like that. And not just that, but in the NFL is a grown man league. It's next man up. Would he have started today had Joe Flacco gone out and played well over the last 2 games? I don't think he would have. I think if Joe Flacco goes out and plays the way he did earlier in the year, Anthony Richards is still on the bench. But because Joe Flacco went out, played bad, they lost those 2 games. Now the franchise or the organization is looking at it and saying, well, hey, we might as well play him, see what we have in him, see how he responds to this. So I think he understands that not everything is a game, and you have to take this serious. You have to take being an NFL quarterback serious. So, I'm glad he did. I hope he continues to do that, because what happens when you do that is like this next guy with this next game, and that's Bo Nix with Denver. Denver just beat the bricks off Atlanta. I mean, and Bo Nix looks good. 4 touchdowns. He's playing well in a Sean Payton system, which is built for guys like him. High accuracy. Maybe not the biggest people, the biggest guy in the world, but he's got a little bit of mobility. The run game is going. Cortland Sutton is stepping up. I don't want to say stepping up like he hasn't, but, you have a solid one receiver. That defense is playing really, really well. They got after Kirk Cousins. So I think that Bo Nix is the prime example of what it looks like. And Jaden Daniels is another one. When you have a rookie quarterback that comes in and they get it immediately, they understand. They look at it and say, okay, this is my organization. This is my franchise. This team goes as I go. I have to take it seriously. Now, Bo Nix, he was Sean Payton's guy. That's who Sean Payton wanted. Sean Payton got it, and it looks like it's a match made in heaven. That team is making a complete 180 from where they were at last year. Now we all know the Russell Wilson debacle in Denver and everything that went along with that. But Bo Nix is, quietly, I think, having a really good year, and I don't think enough people are talking about it. You know, today, Bo Nix goes 28 of 33. 28 of 33. That means he had 5 incomplete passes for 307 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. You know, that's insane. I think that for him to be able to have that kind of accuracy is exactly what Sean Payton wants in his system. So when you can be that accurate, I think that it really helps with the system. You know, we're looking at his average QBR 75.5. He's got a completion percentage of 84.9. That is, you know, that's really good. You know, that was his completion percentage for today. You know, so his regular season so far is a completion percentage of 63.6%. That's really good for a rookie quarterback. You know, he's got 10 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. You know, so he's playing good football, and he's doing exactly what Sean Payton wants him to do in his system. So that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like when you are able to get your quarterback to do what you need him to do. You're able to get him to buy in, and you're able to get him to play the football the way you know he can. And you know something? Congratulations to Bo Nix. A lot of people gave him a lot of shit. You know, people said that he shouldn't have been drafted that high. People told Sean Payton that he was, you know, crazy for, you know, that being the guy that he wanted. Sometimes I think we need to trust that these coaches know what they're doing, especially a Super Bowl winning coach. You know, a coach that had a guy like Drew Brees. Now, I'm not saying Bo Nix is Drew Brees, okay? So don't even try to say, you know, that that's what's going on. But they do have similarities. They're completion quarterbacks. They, you know, take care of the football. They don't throw a lot of interceptions. They don't turn the ball over a lot. And I think Bo Nix is going to continue to grow into that, which means he's just going to continue to grow and fit into that system that Sean Payton runs. So I think that's something we should look out for as we move forward with Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. And right now, the Denver Broncos, if the playoffs started today, the Denver Broncos would be in at the 7th seed. So, hey, keep an eye on the Denver Broncos. Watch out for them. You never know. You never can tell. So, getting back into things, I told you guys that as we moved forward that we were going to get more into the NBA. Well, we're going to get more into the NBA today. But leading into the NBA, one of the things that I felt was necessary for us here at the Full Blitz Podcast was to send prayers to Spurs coach Greg Popovich, who suffered a mild stroke and is currently out indefinitely. And Mitch Johnson is going to take over as the Spurs head coach. The reason we want to bring light to this and the reason we want to bring prayers, not just because anytime somebody has a medical situation like this, you want prayers out, but Greg Popovich is easily one of the greatest NBA coaches of all time. What he's done for the Spurs organization, the players that he has coached, whether it be Tim Duncan, whether it be Tony Parker, whether it be Manu Ginobili, whether it be Kawhi Leonard, the list goes on and on. We just want to make sure that the Popovich family knows that the sporting world is thinking about him. We hope that he is able to make a full recovery, which we do believe that that is the news. He will make a full recovery, and that he is able to, if in the cards and if he wants to, make a return to courtside and be able to continue to lead the Spurs, because they have a phenomenal roster with Wembanyama, and we wish him all the best. Coach, prayers to you, and get healthy. All right. Now, as we continue to look forward into the NBA, so one of the things I've noticed as I started to watch basketball was this little rivalry that's starting to show between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Memphis Grizzlies. And John Morant came out and said that, we don't like them. They knocked us out of the playoffs. So that made me want to, do a little research. Okay, your boy can do some research. I ain't great at it. Okay, but I had to look at it. All right. Since John Morant got to Memphis in 2019, the Lakers have won 13-8. Okay. Since 1995, the Lakers are up 67-41 of their meetings. Okay, so this is a little bit of a rivalry. And then we do have the playoff where the Lakers knocked Memphis out of the playoffs. These are teams that, when you look at them, they really don't like each other, but I like the way that these teams match up. And when I say that, it's because I'm not saying Zach Edey is Anthony Davis. I'm not saying he's on the same level, but when you have a guy that is that size like Zach Edey, he's a 7-footer, and he can play with Anthony Davis. Now, Anthony Davis is a much better basketball player and a much better center. We got that. But then you got a guy like John Morant, who really is a spark, for that team, the energy, everything. So I think that's going to be something that is interesting to watch as the year goes on and as we continue to move. Now, whether or not this continues when LeBron retires, who knows? I like that LeBron kind of, goes with it too. I think LeBron feeds off of that. So I do like that this rivalry is being built. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, but just for my basketball people, keep an eye on that. Anytime the Lakers play the Grizzlies, it's going to be a little chippy. And I like that. Where I'm surprised is the Cavs. The Cavs coming out of nowhere. They won today. They're 15-0. Like, yo. And I got to correct myself. Garland was drafted in 2019. I had said that a show or two ago. I think I had misspoke and said that he was drafted the year before. He was drafted in 2019, but he's still having it, his best year this year. So, and the Cavs in general are really, is it early season magic, or is this team the real deal? Are they a real contender in the East? Mitchell and Garland both over 20 points a game. Allen averaging a double-double. When you have 2-3 players that are putting up the numbers that they're putting up consistently, and Mitchell, we all know Donovan Mitchell. He's a beast. Garland is showing that he is worth the draft pick where he was picked early in the first round. And then Allen is showing to be a very good defender. I think he's averaging almost 11 boards a game. I think it's almost 14 points a game. So he's a scorer. He gets boards. I think he's averaging 2 blocks. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. Please, if y'all got something to say to me, put it in the comments. We respond. I ain't scared. I ain't scared of nobody saying nothing. So right there, put it on there. We not scared here at the Full Blitz. We don't run from nothing. If you wanna go back and forth, give me the time of day. I got you. Okay. But with Cleveland, is it early season magic? We've seen this before. Now, we haven't seen it in the likes like this where you go 15-0 and I think they got the Bulls next. So it could be 16-0. But we'll see as it goes. But if I don't see, now obviously they're not going to go, 72-0. Will they be able to match Golden State 24-0? Who knows? The East isn't as strong as it used to be, so we'll have to see. But hey, either way, I think it is absolutely amazing that Cleveland is where they're at. People want to know why, because of this right here. Okay, I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's Cleveland's championship ring. That's right. Your boy is a Cleveland, Cavaliers fan. All right. So y'all seen it first. Easy from the Full Blitz Podcast is a Cleveland Cavaliers fan. I rock with the Lakers because I'm a LeBron fan, but I will always be a Cavs fan first. Speaking of LeBron, y'all are pissing me off. Okay? All of y'all. Sports fans, y'all are pissing me off. Okay? All y'all want to do is dog this man. All y'all want to do is talk about he ain't Jordan, he ain't Kobe, he ain't this, he ain't that. We are witnessing greatness. Okay? We are witnessing greatness. Why not appreciate what this man is doing now while he's here in the moment, instead of waiting years and say, oh yeah, he was one of the greatest. He was, the GOAT. He was. Why do we do that as a community, as sports fans? Why do we do that? I mean, when you look at what LeBron is doing, year 22. Let me repeat that. Year 22. There are people in their 20s that don't know an NBA without LeBron James. And he is still averaging 24 points a game, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists. Y'all need to stop with the hate. Okay? Yeah, just seriously, stop. The man, we can all have our opinions. He's my GOAT. You want to argue with me? Y'all saw the link. Argue with me. He's my GOAT. Okay, and I don't want to hear about no finals record nonsense. I don't want to hear about that. It's a team sport. Okay, I'll give you the Dallas finals. I'll give you that one. Okay, I'm a realist too. But come on, y'all. Year 22, and he's damn near averaging a triple-double? Come on, nah. Why y'all, I don't understand why we have to do that. I don't care that his hairline's blown back. I don't care. I don't care. The man keeps dominating. Longevity and consistency. 2 pieces that you need to be considered a GOAT. And the man has got it. Not to mention the fact that he's one of the most clutch NBA players of all time. And I don't care what you feel. You can go look the numbers up. Facts don't care about feelings. Okay? You can look those numbers up. I ain't even going to do it for you. But y'all need to respect the dude. Okay? Respect that man. Speaking of respect, I absolutely loved the respect that Klay Thompson got when he returned back to Golden State as a member of the Dallas Mavericks. The captain hats from the employees, the love from the fans, that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. That is how you welcome back a superstar that, for whatever reason, moved on from that organization. And when he came back, that love, that appreciation was exactly what you want to see from an organization. Hats off to you, Golden State. Hats off to your fans. Hats off to the people that work at the arena, everything, for the way that they did that. I got nothing but respect for you guys and the way that y'all did that. We're going to get more into some of the scores and things like that as the season continues to go. Y'all know basketball season is long. We're gonna focus more on storylines, and then as we get closer to the the Commissioner's Cup or the mid-season tournament, we'll talk about that. I don't really like the way they do that. I don't like how it's games here and there that qualify. It's just weird. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But as we continue to move forward, we will be getting more into the NBA, and we will be going over some more teams, kind of like the Milwaukee Bucks and what's going on there. Doc Rivers is upset because calls aren't being made. So, how people feel about JJ Redick, and is he doing a good job with the Lakers? Obviously, they do have a winning record. So, we'll dive into that. Are the Nuggets going to be a team that we're going to see deep into the Western Conference? Are they going to make it to the Western Conference Finals? OKC, is it, again, are they like Cleveland? Are they just early season magic? Or, are they going to be able to sustain the play? Whereas Sacramento, the Kings are a team that have been up and down over the last few years. How do we feel about load management? Kawhi Leonard. There's so much going on with the NBA. We could probably have a whole show, a whole week where we talk just about the NBA, and maybe we'll do that. If you guys want to see that, comment below. Let me know if you want to see me do just a whole show on the NBA where we, cover front to back on the NBA. Let me know, guys. Coming up after the break, we're going to get into some combat sports that happened over the weekend. I'm sure a lot of you already know, but we're going to be getting into it. Keep rocking with us. Coming up after the break, combat sports. All right, guys, so listen. We all know that over the weekend, Netflix did their first live streaming sporting event, and it was the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul boxing card. Did you get a chance to watch it?
I did. So I was worried I wasn't going to be able to, but it's on Netflix for free, so I posted it up.
I'm glad it was
good.
free.
Even the co-main event. Oh man, it was such a good fight. I feel like they robbed my.
They definitely
Puerto Rico was in there.
Oh yeah.
And
that white girl,
no way she lost that fight.
That white girl did not win.
It was messed up, man.
Not
I was
at all.
surprised. I actually ran to go. I left the house before that fight ended.
Damn,
to go
bro,
run
you was
and get
going
some food.
You was going to fight somebody over that, bro?
Damn. To go grab some food real quick because I thought she had it. So I'm like, cool, we won. We got it. I'm going to come back. By the time I get back, the other fight, Mike going to start fighting. And then I came back, found out they, what I'm saying? She lost the fight. I'm like, come on.
So first off.
How?
So I have to say this. This is the platform that I have. Netflix, do better. Your servers were shit.
Did you get all that buffering, loading?
When I tell you
you could tell it was right before. You could tell people were tuning in because it was before the fights would start.
Yep.
And it would start.
Bro, I had to back out. I had to go forward. I had to hit live. I had to back out. It was like I was doing the do-si-do. Netflix, you bum ass. Like,
I wonder how many people watched that fight.
I don't know. I have no idea. But I know all these damn servers you got Netflix, that shit should not have happened. And then whoever the hell y'all had for judges in Texas,
says it was 60 million households.
Okay, so that's a lot.
So that's that's households. So that's not like they probably had people over.
Yep.
That's crazy. It's so many.
But that was my beef with Netflix.
60 million households.
That was my beef with Netflix. Texas, like Louis say, he's not just the digital guide with things. He can see when shit ain't right.
Yeah.
Oh, girl, Katie was her name. Katie whatever. She got the bricks beat off of her. At one point, it looked like she was getting hit in the face so much, she was just leaning forward the whole fight. Like, I'm with you. I don't, like, how y'all do Puerto Rico like that?
Yeah, she should have won. She was getting her so good. She got a giant cut. She kept fighting.
And did you see that headbutt?
With a huge cut on her eye.
That headbutt,
yeah, they were headbutting each other the whole fight.
All right, it was.
And I'm like, yo,
craziness. And then it wasn't just that one. The second fight, Brodo, I can't say his name, but the cat that was wearing the black and pink shorts, he was the champ, and they called his fight a draw. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
It was not a draw.
Yeah.
He won that damn fight. He had a higher percentage of punches thrown, a higher percentage of punches landed. Like, how the hell do you call that a draw? And that's the same thing with old girl. She doubled up.
There's no way she lost. Amanda Serrano, that's her name.
Yeah, no way.
I mean, like, she should have had it.
So how you say her last name?
Who, her name?
Yeah.
Serrano. Yeah, Serrano.
Hey, baby. Here at the Full Blitz, we with you. Okay, you won that damn fight.
You already know.
Okay,
yo, I'm Puerto Rican, man. That's my people.
And look, girl, Katie,
I was rooting for
Katie
her.
Or whatever. She's Irish. I'm Irish.
Yeah.
But hey, we keep it real here on this show, baby. Katie, you got your ass whooped. Okay, you did not win that damn fight.
It was crazy.
You need to FedEx that girl her belts because she beat you. Like, that was just...
Yeah, that was terrible. She kept holding and then after she was cut, she kept mushing her face all against the cut. I'm like, man, this is terrible. Man.
So
it was hilarious, though, when they went over to a ring and they was asking the coaches and stuff.
He went off.
That's all she could do, man. She in there, man. She just leave with her head, man. And he caught himself, too. He's like, she's a nice person on the outside, but when she gets in the ring,
all she does is headbutt.
Good catch.
He went off.
Yeah, he was pissed, man. She started. Yeah, that
rightfully
was
so.
Cut. Yeah,
and then
I thought they were gonna stop it too. I was scared.
And then we get.
But what's the point of you're gonna make her go through that? You didn't stop the fight, and you gonna give it to the other, like. She clearly
won.
It was terrible.
She clearly won. She beat that girl like she was trying to talk to her man. Okay, like she beat the hell out of her. Now I will say we all saw it. Amanda, we caught you in 4K looking at old girl tits. Okay,
was she? I missed that.
We caught you. It was cool. We was all doing it too, but we caught you.
It was a couple strange things too, man. Like, why they show Mike ass like that? Like, why they do Mike like that?
That was
like, you remember when he did it? First of all, it was a touching moment. Wasn't it his son that was like interviewing him?
Yeah.
And he's like, "I love you, son," and then walks away. You go fucking Like, come on, bruh. Why
it
you
was
do
just
that?
there was just
strange.
There was a few things, and then speaking of Tyson, when we got to that fight, right? So we had talked about the rules. We had talked about how it was a sanctioned fight. We had talked about how the gloves 8 2-minute rounds, everything like that. Tyson comes out in the first round, and I remember watching it, and me and the wife and my sister was here. We're watching it. Tyson comes out in the first round, and I'm like, shit, Tyson gonna knock him the hell out,
man. Yeah, he caught him. He was fighting, but even when you.
But did you notice?
Even when you saw him walking into the ring, he
didn't look right.
On? He didn't seem there. He seemed like nervous, or he seemed like out of it.
Yeah,
you know. And
then what was crazy is, and I made a comment on this on our TikTok channel. And if y'all aren't following, make sure you go follow Full Blitz Podcast on TikTok. We do weekly updates right there. Okay. I noticed that when Tyson would duck, he would do his trademark duck down. He had the right hook all night.
He couldn't get inside close enough.
He was there.
Seemed like he wasn't jumping.
He just wasn't throwing the punch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I didn't know, even when he was throwing haymakers and shit, it was like tight, close up. Like he needed to, I don't know, it was frustrating to watch.
So I'm not going to say this is what happened, right? But I'm going to say this is what I think happened, okay? I think that they came to Tyson and was like, look, you going to get $20 million, okay?
Right.
If you win by decision, that's cool. We're going to say knockouts are allowed. Please don't knock him out.
Yeah. Because a lot of times he was kind of dancing around and throwing a jab. Like he wasn't really going in, but I don't know, because it looked like he was tired too. But he just didn't have the energy.
How many of the signature Mike Tyson uppercuts did you see him throw?
Yeah, none.
Like, I think he threw maybe one, and he wasn't even nowhere near Paul when he threw it. Like, and now look, hey man, do you, right? You made $20 million. Hey, I'm proud of you, Mike. We all know at the end of the day, if you caught Jake Paul's ass out in the street, we already know what would happen.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But you built us up for all of this, and then you made it so blatantly obvious that
it was a friendly fight. Even at the end when Jake was like done, like it was like, okay, I mean, of course, yeah, you're not gonna fucking knock him out, Tyson. You know how many people would be like, yo, nah, we gotta, he be having mad people trying to fight him. Like, yo, we gotta set it up.
We gotta get it back.
Nah, Mike.
Yo, you the head.
So I didn't think. I thought about that already. Like, he isn't gonna. He ain't gonna embarrass him. Like, I didn't think that was gonna happen.
If he would have knocked Tyson out, people would have been coming at Paul the way people went at the Stingray for killing Steve Irwin. They like that would have.
Yeah,
it would have been
Mike
unreal.
Alone. It was, so it was what you expect, He started to get tired after the first couple rounds. And you saw him slow down. The knee was fucking with him. It was what I was entertained by was the judges not the judges, but whoever the hosts that were talking, Rosie Perez and
I'm sorry, but
bro, they were hilarious though. They were commenting on stuff.
Like, that's the other thing, Netflix. First off, what is Rosie?
Well, Rosie was in there because Puerto Rico was in there fighting for the title.
I get that, but what does Rosie know about boxing?
Was that for the title?
The girl, Amanda's fight.
That's why.
Yeah,
she paid somebody off, man.
But what does Rosie know about boxing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell does Cedric the Entertainer know about damn boxing?
I don't know.
If you gonna give us a live sporting event and then you give us one boxing,
I think they had you also saw all the sponsorships. I mean, that's how they made that bag. It's just like fill it with celebrities, get people to watch.
And then you
celebrities
showing me
on live, they live and stuff during the broadcast.
You showing me the actors from Cobra Kai, like
in the crowd, like what?
Hey, bro, yo, tell me why all of them
trying
people,
to show all the celebs in there.
They all looked like, hey, is our time? Can we go now? Like, can we
all
leave?
Look tired. Shaq is in there though, chilling.
But I tell you what, even though we had that one on Friday night, Saturday night we had a non-friendly fight. Okay, so I'm a big UFC person, right? And Saturday night we had UFC 309, Jon Jones versus Mirko Strike. I always forget how to say his name. Stipe, Mirko Stipe.
Yeah.
And my man,
Miocic.
my man. So first off, I'm gonna start with some of the lower ones. Bo Nickel, Bo Nickel staying undefeated. I like it, and in dominant fashion. You know, I love it. And then you had Charles Oliveira, who just he's a legend. He's a legend in the Octagon. He's a legend in the UFC. And he just was all over Michael Chandler. Just all over him. You know, I thought he was going to submit him at one point, and he wasn't able to get it done. But, you know, I loved seeing Oliveira, you know, doing his thing.
Yeah, those were good fights. UFC never disappoints, though. Man.
Never disappoints. And you know who didn't disappoint? My man Jon Bones Jones, baby. So
yeah, he's
if you don't think, right, and this is for anybody, and this is another one where you can comment below, come at me if you want. I don't care. I'll fight with you all day. Okay? Jon Bones Jones is the greatest mixed martial artist ever. Any weight division, any promotion, whatever. Jon Bones Jones is the GOAT. Okay? He went in and in 3 rounds beat who most people believe is the greatest heavyweight ever in Stipe. Not just that.
But how long was it? It was a while since he fought, right?
So Jones fought Cyril Gane like 2 years ago. I want to say 2 years ago. And 3 years ago.
Not Jones, but
and Stipe was it was a while. Because he got hurt. And then people forget Stipe's a firefighter. You know, Stipe has he works a full-time job. He's a full-time firefighter.
Yeah.
But he was in great shape. He was in phenomenal shape. But Jones, just those body kicks. And then he actually, I had to look this up, but the spinning back kick that actually ended the fight is the first ever spinning back kick to end a title fight in UFC history.
Oh my God! Are you serious?
Did you see this kick?
Oh, he cracked him so bad, yo. And then then he kept. Oh. But yes, I seen this fight.
Bro, just like
bad. He just crumbled. You seen him just fold.
Bro, the heel was, just right under. Like, oh my God. Oh. That just
right there.
Right there.
Right in the rib.
Right, bruh.
Right. What's that? His kidney over there. Ain't
I don't.
Or not kidney, but his liver.
That's a lung.
His liver. That's his whole. That's all his organs. Murked him. And then he did the Trump dance.
Yeah, he did the Trump dance. Oof.
Yeah, man.
Bro, that's all heel. That was all heel.
Yeah,
that looks gnarly. But
what's his record now?
So Jones is I don't know the number, but he's technically not undefeated because he has a 1 disqualification back when he had a 12-6 elbow, which is now legal. So what he got disqualified for is now legal.
Right.
So Dana is actually, from the last time when he talked about it, Dana White is actually trying to get that DQ overturned. That way Jones' record shows that he's undefeated. He has never been beaten.
That's crazy. I know.
I
was trying to look for his record. He's a beast, man.
And when you think of the people,
it's crazy because half the time he don't even train. Right? There's a couple fights where
he said the Alex Gustafson fight. He said he was out there doing thing like that, and then went out and beat the hell out of him. Bones is the GOAT. You want to argue with me? Put it in the comment. Argue with me. And you better not come at me and say, damn, Khabib. If you say Khabib, I'm not even entertaining you.
Nah.
Like, Khabib, you got to fight more than 12 fights to be considered the greatest of all time.
He's a beast, man. Who would you want to see him fight?
Jon
Jones.
So here's that was the other thing that I wanted to talk about. So he said that Jones in the post-fight press conference said that he doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall, which is who Dana White wants him to fight. Jones wants to fight Alex Pereira because he thinks that is a bigger super fight, which I do agree. I think the Pereira fight would be
huge,
massive. But I also believe that him fighting Tom Aspinall would be the biggest UFC heavyweight fight of all time. So,
think so?
Oh yeah, easily. I mean,
where do they do it? Where? In the Sphere?
Oh no, Dana White said he ain't going back to the Sphere. If he did it, he'd probably do it at like the MGM. He'd probably do it at a traditional spot. Just because that fight's whoever he fights it's gonna be fucking massive.
Super fight.
But that's our combat sports, y'all. Heading out of combat sports, we are going into me and Louie's favorite segment. And the story that I have for y'all this week is arguably one of the most ridiculous things ever. So you guys know what that means. Y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all. So
ain't no way.
This week on Ain't No Way. Okay. When I tell you I cannot make this nonsense up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you the first sentence from this article. Okay. And you have the picture that I sent you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and just so y'all know, I have not told Louis anything about this. I just sent him a picture. Okay. So.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Here we go. This is from the California Department of Insurance. 4 residents from the Los Angeles area were arrested this week after an investigation by the California Department of Insurance revealed that they allegedly used a life-size bear costume to stage attacks on their vehicle in attempt to secure a 6-figure payout.
Hold up. Stay the bear attack.
No, it gets worse.
This is the costume.
Yes. This is
the photo.
Okay.
They got claws and everything.
So, first off, what color is that bear? What color is that costume?
It's a brown bear.
Okay, this is how stupid people are. The suspects, who I will not put their name out there because y'all is so stupid, I am not giving y'all any more clout. God. Okay, have been charged with insurance fraud and conspiracy. According to an announcement made by the department on Wednesday, they allegedly scammed 3 companies for a total of $141,839.
Wait, they initially got away with it?
They initially got away with it.
They got away with it.
Okay? They called this Operation Bear Claw. Okay? So, first off, this is what pissed me off. Okay? In January, the suspects claimed that a bear had entered their 2010 Rolls-Royce Ghost. No. First off, what the fuck is wrong with you?
They did insurance fraud on a Rolls-Royce.
Oh my God! And caused
they just tore that shit up.
And it caused interior damage while it was parked in the Lake Arrowhead. Here's the part that pisses me off: a region in the San Bernardino Mountains known for its large black bear population.
They got the wrong color bear.
You ready for this? It gets worse.
They got the wrong color bear. They got the grizzly joint.
It gets worse,
bro. Black bear joint.
Here's the part that just this is what kills me with humanity. The suspects provided video footage of the alleged incident to their unnamed insurance company.
So they recorded themselves committing insurance fraud.
And then they sent it
as the evidence to commit insurance fraud.
Yo, so I told you it was the Rolls Royce, right? The other 2 vehicles.
That's drugs, right?
I don't. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. So the video shows a furry figure entering through the side door, climbing around the back seat, and crawling out, leaving scratch marks on the leather seats and doors. The other 2 vehicles involved, we know that it's a 2010 Rolls-Royce Ghost, right? Car number 2, a 2015 Mercedes G63 AMG. And the third vehicle is a 2022 Mercedes E350.
Oh my God! They why would they do that to some? I mean, I guess that's what you have to do to get the big check, right?
Yo,
that's crazy.
So
that's bugged out.
We get the wrong color bear costume.
That's so bugged out.
We make the video to snitch on ourselves. We destroy 3 amazing vehicles.
I found a video.
Did you have the video?
Hold up. They just showed it. Hold up. This isn't it. Okay, they're showing actual bears. Come on. Oh, this is...
Look at this. Look at this. Look at it. Yo.
The inspiration for 4 people now charged with insurance fraud in Southern California. Investigators with the California Insurance Department.
It's just the person costume. And they're in there tearing it up. But look, oh my
to a Rolls-Royce
God.
And 2 Mercedes. And had the video to prove it.
How stupid. Look, it is a ghost. That's crazy. It's a fan. It's a Rolls Royce.
Allegedly caused by a human dressed
They're
as a
just
bear.
scratching it. Bro, I'm bugged out.
Bruh, so
ain't no fucking way.
That's my point exactly. That's the only thing you can say when you hear this story.
They initially got...
So I think...
But they initially got away with it.
They initially got away with it. But I think they tried to do it again. And I'm dumbfounded at how stupid people are. Like...
I mean, the thing is they got away with it at first, so they're not that stupid. But then they kept going. They get greedy. They got greedy. The tale as old as time, my friend.
I can't, man. I don't like when I was looking for a story, right? So y'all know this is what I do. Every week I scour the internet and I look for a story. And the biggest draw has to be that when I read the headline, I have to say, ain't no way. When I tell you that is all I could say when I read this, that's just
perfect. Then that's the perfect story.
I
say we get some stories from our listeners as well.
I think that's a great
Email,
idea.
If anybody has any crazy stories, news stories, current events, something that's semi-recent, share it with us.
Right there.
fullblitz@gmail.com.
Send it to us.
Share your stories, you know.
And if you have a personal story that's an ain't no way, and if you want to change the name and things like that, by all means, okay? And I'll tell you what, if we have anybody that sends us a personal story, okay, you send us a personal story, and it is a ain't no way moment, you will be the first person to get the official Full Blitz Podcast Ain't No Way hoodie. We're coming into the cold months. Okay.
There you go.
All right. Make sure.
How often should we do that? That's dope.
Make sure you're subscribing on the YouTube channel. Okay. Send us your story, and if it makes it onto the show, we will send you the official Full Blitz Podcast Ain't No Way hoodie.
No way hoodie.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's it.
All right, y'all. So y'all know what time it is. We're getting right down to the end of the show. We're going to hit you with the quick hitters. These are just your quick scores. That way you're keeping up with everything that's going on. All right. So Oregon survives the upset bid against Wisconsin. They take the W 16-13. Texas moves to 9-1 with their win over Arkansas. Penn State, big win, 39 points over Purdue. All right. South Carolina putting together a good season as they get the win against Missouri, 34-30. Tulane blanks Navy, 35-0. Guess what, y'all? Jason Tatum hitting a game-winning 3 in overtime to down the Raptors after he missed the potential game winner in regulation. Lakers take down the Pelicans 104-99. Dalton Keaton has 27 points. Yo, Lions put up 52 against the Jags without Lawrence. Their Jags or Lions are now 9-1. That is their best start since 1934. Vikings keeping up with the Lions as they down my Titans. You know why? Because the Titans are trash. Green Bay needs a block field goal at the end of the game to spoil Chicago's new offensive coordinator's win as they get the win. Dolphins whoop up on the Raiders 34-19. Rams use strong second and third quarter to beat Pats 28-22. Saints' new head coach Rizzi has Saints 2-0 under him as they put up 35 on the Browns. And Geno's last-second rushing touchdown gives Seattle the win over the 49ers. Y'all, that is the quick hitters for this week. And don't worry, y'all. College basketball, men and women, is on the way, and so is hockey, so keep an eye out for it, okay? Make sure that y'all are commenting, liking, share, hit the subscribe button, and keep rocking with us, guys, because we're only getting better. Till next week, I'm your host, Easy. Keeping rocking with me, as always, is the digital god, Louis himself. We love you guys.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Until next time. Holla, 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 holla.